Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? Want to talk to you a little bit about some more about the border situation. Obviously, it's all over the news. It's all over all of the social media networks, and the militia being called up to go down there actually got mentioned on one of the news networks the other night. I think there's some very important things we need to address about this. I will say, first of all, to those of you all who are getting your bug out bags and such ready to go, there's really not a whole lot of people down there right now, and you need to be aware of that. First of all, the immigrants are being bussed into different points and locations throughout the United States. Now, if we really, as a country, wanted to take matters into our own hands and shut down the border, there may be a group of people that are the right people to do that. But for me, I would feel that it would be more beneficial and more effective, and you'd be more able to get large groups of people together for things that happen like in Militia, California, where the city actually, the citizens got together, protested, stopped the buses from coming in, and the buses had to turn around and leave. Is their battle over? By no means, no. But just like during the Revolutionary Wars, you know, the militia that was out there fighting for our colonies, they always wanted to stay fighting somewhere in their general home range where they could get home if the homes and farms started being attacked, so they could defend their own. And that's one thing I think that we need to keep in mind. People sitting in locations where some of these buses may come and be dropped off, if you don't want them in your hometown, you know, a lot of these guys are already in, have been in the country. This is not brand new. Immigrants crossing illegally, it's not brand new. There may be a spike in the volume of them. Hey, you know, it's kind of the policies of this administration. We've allowed it to happen. We have let it get to a point where now everybody's paying attention, and in reality this has been going on. There's already millions of them here, and they're in your hometowns. Now, my thought process again, I think your efforts might be better suited by majority organizing in your own area, if a bus is coming your way, and handling it the way the residents in Marietta handled it. That's my first point. My second point is that for those people, that handful of people that are considering going down there, you're dealing with a very different beast. When you're standing on our home soils and you're standing up to a letter agency of our federal government, there are certain rights that we as citizens have against our government, and there's certain rights that our government has. It's a different battle. The people that you're up against are other Americans, and they are on a paycheck, in a uniform, and you know, there is a certain level of loyalty as far as not just opening like crazy wildfire on other American citizens, you know, because of money owed. But when you are staring down the barrel of drug cartels, M13 or M18 gang members, it is different. It's very different. These people are ruthless, and no, we don't want them in our country, but they're already here. And that's kind of my point, is that a lot of people are worrying about the border part of the crossing. The border's wide open, okay? Miles and miles and miles. You might be able to block this spot, but this spot's going to be open. Maybe they have hidden agendas. Maybe it's nothing more than what it's always been. Who knows? But you got to be able to protect your home. And I think Governor Perry down there in Texas has made it clear the last few days on the news that he really would appreciate some help. But the question then comes about, why not approach some of the sheriffs or the governor as if you want to help, if you're militia, and let's talk about things like getting deputized. Let's talk about working with the Border Patrol or working with the local sheriffs and the governor to see what they feel. They've got resources, they've got the intelligence. If you really want to help, certainly there's a sheriff down there somewhere that would be willing to work with some people and get some information, have some organization. Please don't just show up at mile marker 41 with your debit card and meet up with half a dozen people. And I don't want to degrade or demean what the few people are intending that are down there. I understand their desperation. I understand their passion. But you have to use a little common sense here. And you have to realize that there are busloads that have already come through the border, and there's more coming all the time, and there's some that have been in the States for months before we even knew that the uptick had occurred. And I think we all need to look around our own neighborhoods, I saw a video this evening which kind of sparked this video, and I'm going to put the link to it below. The video was made by Rebel Pundit, and it's a very short 2-minute video, and it is some residents in Chicago who are extremely concerned, not because there's illegal immigrants coming across the border, but because they're seeing on the news this outpouring from churches and organizations and the American Red Cross and our tax dollars and Obama wanting more tax dollars to take care of these children. While in Chicago, the city has fallen apart. I mentioned that in a video a couple months ago, and I had a few viewers that said I didn't know what I was talking about. This video is residents in Chicago talking about it. It's a very good known fact. Okay, gun control's not working there. Financially, the stability of the city has gone to shit, and they have children there that need help. And I'm not a big advocate of the welfare state, but I am a huge advocate of people as individuals doing what their heart leads them to do to help other people who genuinely need it. And for you to send food or water or anything down to the border to these illegals, children are not, they're illegal and they broke the law, and you turn your back and ignore fellow Americans that the economy has just destroyed their lives, even if they wanted to better their lives, even if they wanted to step up and try to buy homes and get jobs, where they're at, they're stuck. And it is a shame. It makes me want to turn around and do a fundraiser and take donations to send to Chicago and a few other cities. But Chicago is a war zone. We've become numb to the fact that we see on the news, there were 30 killings in Chicago this past weekend, 17 of which were for children. The police, they're understaffed, they're underfunded. It's not good. And here we are, half of us wanting to shut down the borders and shoot everybody, and the other half of us wanting to feed and clothe and welcome warmly and set them up in hotels and get them showers. And I could not believe one of the distribution centers that I saw. And then I saw a bus dropping them off at Walmart with money to go into Walmart to buy things that they may need that they couldn't get at the distribution center from the donations. I mean, loading these people up. I work. You know, this is a 2-income household, and nobody's taking me to Walmart to buy nothing, you know. And you can say it's cold and cruel, but let me tell you something. A 14-year-old in these countries that these guys are coming from is not the same as the 14-year-olds here in our country. Very different. They've lived a different life. They've seen different things. These M13s, to be initiated into the gang, they have to rape at least 3 women and commit at least 1 murder. That's their initiation. These guys are hardcore, and they don't mind telling the Border Patrol. That's been all over the news the last couple of days. Border Patrol interviews them. Who are you? Where'd you come from? Are you a gang member? Yeah. So what'd you have to do to get in the gang? Oh, I had to rape 3 girls under the age of 12 and had to kill at least 1 person. And you're consumed with sending them money and clothes and food and turning your back on some of our own people. When I say you, I mean in general. There's this whole entire half of the population like that. On the flip side of that, there's also this whole entire part of the country that just wants to go down there and start blasting everybody away. And neither one's going to work. Neither one's right. Neither one is fair. And there are a lot of pros to us having a certain level of immigrants in this country, illegal immigrants, and work visa immigrants especially. There's also a huge number of cons. What starts getting scary is through time getting outnumbered. You know, for years I've heard so many people talk about how your average American middle-class citizen is becoming the minority, and we are. And that's what scares me about this border situation. It's not the little, 3-year-old whose older brother is helping get her into the country, and she doesn't know any better, and she's scared, and she's lonely. Yes, the mother in me wants to help that child. There's nothing really I can do. There's too many of them, but in reality, that 3-year-old will one day be a voting 18-year-old. And that's what's being built. What's being built is a voter base. Like it or not, that's what's coming in. So I think that our focus has gotten so paramilitary, so militia oriented. We've all become so neutralized and numb to camouflage and ammo, and we've gotten so excited, and we think that by throwing on that camo and that war paint and heading off anywhere whenever anybody yells militia, call to action alert, we don't think. We just think that means we're a patriot if we participate or we support that. And don't you dare say anything negative about it. I'm just saying, I do support the hearts of these people. I support their intentions and their good meaning, because sometimes you feel so desperate. You don't see any other way around it. You feel like it's fight or flight. Fight or flight. And I guess we have to just let that group of people play out that part of the role for us. The rest of us, you need to look more at home. You need to look in your own city, and you need to look at the kids that are here, that were born here, that we're supposed to be worried about. Those countries down there, they need to worry about their children, and it may be cold, and I'm sorry if it sounds cold. I don't mean for it to be, but we cannot save the world. We barely can hold on to our own country, and we can barely save the very children. And we have a poverty level, and we have an unemployment rate, and we have people that are, they're on food stamps, but they're selling their food stamps to be able to pay their light bill, and so they have no food. And There's also those that take advantage of the system. I get that. But don't you understand that those people, when you're mad at those that take advantage of our system, but then you're turning around and you're not seeing that these illegals are taking advantage of our system, I mean, and you're feeling sorry for them, and churches are sending busloads of donations down there. Send the busloads of your donations to the children here that need it here. Send those donations down to Venezuela. Keep your kids there. We'll go on and send this stuff down there so you can take care of them. And it's sad, and I understand that, but if we take on the world's children that are fleeing from certain problems, we're bringing those problems here. And I'm here to tell you, you are not ready to have gangs like the M13s out on your street corners. Now, maybe in New York City, maybe in LA, maybe in Atlanta, there's a few gang groups that can protect their street, okay? But they're not going to come and protect your street. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to defend you. They're going to defend their home. Why don't you defend your home in your street, you know? And that's really about the only thought process I can give to you as far as how I feel about going to the border. You know, you're dealing with hundreds of miles of desert and river. If you want to help in an organized way with the establishment down there, the border patrol and the sheriffs, and the going on your own in those deserts, you come up a group of drug cartel members. You may think you're bad, you may think you're tough, but you will be outnumbered. I guarantee you that, especially when they figure out you're there and they figure out that there's 6 of you. When they figure out there's a group of 6 militia guys, they're going to bring 12 to 24 guys. You got 6 guns, they're going to have 24 guns. And it's not going to be hard to do. And it's a sad fact, but our culture is not prepared to stand in large groups with each other for causes that do not affect our home neighborhood. So we need to get our home neighborhoods pulled together and be prepared for these things. Eventually, if enough Marietta, California protests happen, people will start to get the idea. People will start to understand they don't want us here. So I just wanted to throw that thought process out there. I'm going to share the link in the bottom of this video to the video that I watched today. It's only a 2-minute video. It's called Chicago Resident, Obama Will Go Down as the Worst President Ever. And it's a neighborhood of people who feel abandoned. Americans that feel abandoned because the world's crumbling down around them and all the eyes are pointed down south. And so I think we all need to really think about that. And anybody out there from Chicago watching, I'm sorry, you know, let me know what we can do. And maybe we can get a militia sent your way. You, after all, are a legal American. So, hope you guys are doing good.